creative production. On an average day, we're spending 2.1 hours a day in distraction. We're distracted by technology every 11 minutes. It takes us 25 minutes to refocus our mindsets on sort of that deep work and creative work we were doing before we were distracted. And I think any business person who wants to change the game, go into rehabilitation for your addiction and distraction, where we turn off our technology, we do real work, is really definitely a game changer. Regardless of what you do in an organization, you not only have the opportunity, you have the responsibility to show leadership. It means, number one, play at world class in terms of your level of competence. Work like Picasso painted. Commit yourself to knowing more about your work than anyone who's ever done your work in the history of the world. Number two, disrupting the way you worked yesterday. Don't just go to work and do work the way you did it yesterday. Go to work and make it 1% better than you did yesterday. Number three, you want to lead without a title? Be all about relationships. We live in an interesting world. We've forgotten that the job of a leader is to grow more leaders. Being brilliant at listening to people, being inspirational, knowing how to provoke people to do difficult work that allows them to grow is definitely part of leadership without a title as well. What are some daily practices? Number one, radiate positive energy. We have a choice every day. We can be a victim or we can show leadership. Victims make excuses. Leaders drive results. Victims complain. Leaders say, difficult times are when I get to show what I'm truly made of. When you go to work, have high energy. When you go to work, bring your best game. Number two, first 90 minutes of your workday, only on important work. That means no checking your email, don't check your Twitter feed, don't chit chat on the water cooler. Science says we are at our energetic best first thing in the morning. That's when we have most of our focus. Use your best hours to do your best work. Number three, a nightly debrief. So just before you go to sleep, pull out your journal and ask yourself this question. What are three good things that happened in this day? And that will sort of train your mind on what you did well during the day and allow the next day to become a platform to do something better. And then the final thing I'd simply say is, we're paid to learn. So no matter how busy you are, you want to find some time, especially 60 minutes, to learn something. As you learn more, then you can see around corners. And ultimately, that's a huge competitive advantage for you in your business career.
Let's go, let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day, ready to go ahead and take advantage. Today, we're going to be diving into Robin Sharma, right? The leader who had no title. Honestly, one of my favorite books, one of my favorite authors, somebody who is completely transformed, not just my life, but many around the globe. So I'm excited to go ahead and dive into the topic for today. But before we go ahead and do so, what is everybody grateful for down below? Go ahead and drop your gratitude. Grateful to be alive, grateful for God, grateful for the mind, for the body, for the spirit, grateful for the dream team. I'm grateful for each and every single one of you taking the steps to become the best versions of yourself. I'm so happy to see it. Go ahead and drop. What day is everybody on as far as your morning routine goes? Let me see what everybody's at so we can keep each other accountable, right? Coming up close to day 50 on them. I love it. We are feeling great. The call this morning with Neno and Matt was absolutely phenomenal. So many nuggets and gems on that call, right? Being able to create a bigger ball of positive energy and having that outweigh the negative. This is one of the biggest keys that I've been able to take for the past couple of years. And I know for a fact it can help you as well. So let's go. Rise and Jay is on day 50. I love it. You guys are doing great. So it's out to the universe. We are coming up on day 66, 16 days away for you. Let's go ahead and keep it going. So here we go. The leader that had no title, I've got a couple of different acronyms for you. So this can really make sense because at the end of the day, successful individuals, what they've done is they've been able to take things and put them in concepts. They say average people talk about other people. Wealthy and the wise, they talk about concepts, right? So today, we're going to be talking about the concept of how to shine as a leader, right? So we're going to go ahead and go through these notes. So grab your notepad and grab your piece of paper, and let's get into today. Here we go. First thing, shine. All right. This part of the book is really talking about how to really grow as an individual and how we can go ahead and take our growth and leave a long-lasting impact. Just like Jim Rohn says, right? The more value we can bring to the market, the more it's going to come back in our favor and in our life. So here we go. let's go ahead and get into it. So the S for shine is going to be able to see clearly. Okay, this is big, to be able to see clearly. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it this week. What is the vision that you have for yourself as far as your A-type goal, your B-type goal, and then we have our stretch, our C-type goal, right? So our A-type goal, this is something that's natural. We don't really have to stretch too much to go ahead and obtain. But our B-type goal, this is something that we know how to do, but we have to do it over a period of time, right? It's something that we probably haven't done, maybe if ever. Perfect example right now is the morning routine. When was the last time somebody that you know has went 21 days, 35 days, 40 days, 50 days, right? Shane, Talina coming up on day 90, I believe, inside of their morning routine. So it's something that we know how to do, but not many of us have ever actually done it for an extended period of time. And the B-type goal ends up leading to the C. So when we know exactly what we want, it's gonna be doable to go ahead and do the actions every day, because what's the difference between most people? There's two sides. You ready? The first side, does the leader make the vision, or does the vision make the leader? You see, because when the leader makes the vision, it's easy for the leader to create the vision, and then life hits and they quit. They get hit by a roadblock, they get hit by something that was in their path, and they go ahead and they quit. But then you have the other side where the vision makes the leader. And when the vision makes the leader, they understand that there's going to be an uphill mountain that we have to climb. There's going to be ridges that have to be stepped over. So it's something that's going to take time. It's something that's going to develop us into the best version. It's something that's going to be worth it to take this run on the journey. Okay, so when you know what you want, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Over the past 5 years, if you think I haven't had to go through trials, if you think I haven't had to go through tribulations, a lot of different angles of life hitting me from different ways, I'm here to tell you, absolutely. I'm just like every one of you on the call. We all go through things as well, but the difference is how we decide to respond, right? Going back to responsibility, we all have the ability to respond. So many can talk about it, few will actually walk it like they talk it. And I've heard it for so many years. Oh, I'm ready to go chairman. I'm ready to go ahead and hit a 6-figure trading account. But when we go ahead and when we look at the group chat, weren't as plugged in as we could have been. We weren't calling our mentor as much as we could have. We weren't doing the necessarily daily actions to really get the results that we needed. So I went from being a person that was just curious to saying, you know what? I'm ready to go all in and really take this thing serious. So I had to decide, what was I willing to sacrifice, right? Because if we don't sacrifice anything, eventually we're going to be sacrificing the life that we wish that we could go ahead and have. So let me go ahead and take a blast through the past for you real quick. IG, give me a second. I'm about to go ahead and whip out something from the camera roll. Hold on for like 30 seconds. All right, so here we go. Let me show you guys what popped up on my memories today. You ready? I can't even lie about this. I've missed holidays. I've missed birthdays. There's been times when I was driving to events years ago. I mean, there's a specific time, and I actually totaled my car. No lie. I was driving to an event, right, with one of my students. Somebody totaled my car. I literally still have a scar on my forearm, right? And I went to go speak at an event directly after. Literally, we got a Uber ride and went straight to the event within 2 hours of being in that crash. And let me show you all my memories, because it's wild to go back and see the journey. Check this out. September 13th, 2020. I can't make this up. Look at this. I had the fire truck. I had everybody over there. My car was completely totaled. But look what I said. Blessed and grateful to be alive. Tomorrow is never promised. Purpose should be your alarm clock. You cannot chase what you want sleeping. You got to go get it. Purpose should be your alarm clock. You cannot chase what you want sleeping. You got to go get it. I wrote that specific post, 1111 Paint Your Vision, because I went out and I spoke at an event directly after that. I said, nope, I'm not going in the ambulance. You can go ahead and take my car, but I have work that has to get done. I have goals that need to be accomplished. I am committed to what it is that I wrote down. So the problem with so many along the journey is whenever we get hit with a little speed bump, we start to really dig into our negative thoughts, our negative self-talk, our addiction to self-approval from others. And this is a habit of nature. This is how we're designed. Our brain is built to do two things, right? Truth be told, it's built to either help us survive or it's built to help us literally just stay alive. One of the two. So a lot of us, when we come into a problem, they call it fight, flight, or freeze. Flight, fight, or freeze. Okay, so when any of us go ahead and we face opportunity, when any of us faces adversity, we have the opportunity to go ahead and decide which one do we want to go ahead and step into. So let me ask you today, what are you going through right now, right? That's happening in your life. What crash is going on in your life where you have the opportunity to go ahead and choose one of these three? Number one, we have the chance to choose the flight. Are we going ahead and take advantage of this situation? There could be something that we need to learn. There could be a lesson inside of what is going on right now that can propel us into who we need to become. Right? Over these past couple months, we've probably all had lessons with the retracement, but this is the beauty of life. It's just like the charts. You're never stuck at the bottom. You're preparing to go ahead and create a higher high. Okay? So this is big. So we have the opportunity to go ahead and take flight and take advantage of the situation. We have the opportunity to go ahead and fight it and say, why me? Why does this always happen to me? I've been in that scenario, right? Murphy's Law, where it seems like everything is just happening one after another in your life. Well, here's the truth. If you're the person to say, why does this always happen to me? You're going to be the person that keeps attracting all of that inside multiple different people, places, and situations. And I've been there. So hopefully from today's call with Neno and Matt, you started to understand the power of the ball of positivity and also the power of the negative ball. And last, we can freeze. We can go ahead and we can look at our problems. We can go ahead and sit in a corner. We can cry about it. We can blame. We can let out all the excuses in the world. But I got to a point where I said, you know what? Excuses only sound best to the person that makes them. So when I got clear on what I wanted, when I understood on where I was going, when I decided to go ahead and turn my adversity into my victory, when I decided to turn my coal into gold, this is where the magic started to happen. Because even though what I envisioned wasn't in the physical world yet, it was built spiritually and it was on the way with consistent action and application, right? We say it all the time, information changes situations, but I love how they took it on today's call. Because that's the truth. So many have this access to 1% information, but why is there only a handful that are successful? One word, application, over a consistent period of time. So I love that. So the S is huge, such a huge part of this journey. Let's go ahead and go into the H. If you want to really go ahead and shine as a leader, that's going to be our health. Yes, health and wellness. There's a reason why they say health is wealth, because it is the truth. We can go ahead and make all of this money in crypto, all of this money in trading, all these ka-chings in our ECX store. But if we don't have our health, we're not even going to be able to spend it. We're not even going to be able to enjoy it. You know, I'll go ahead and give you guys a story. My grandfather is 78 years old, right? Literally riding his bike over this past week. He fell asleep riding his bike, fell and slammed against the concrete. Now he had to go ahead and get surgery. So here's the deal. I don't want to be the person, and this is a pretty much a D1 athlete. This is somebody who was known as a star athlete his whole life, but over time from taking pills, from taking pharmaceutical medicine, started to eat away at the brain, started to lose some of the sharpness, and now things like this are starting to happen. So I'm gonna be real and raw on today's call. I had a breakthrough moment, right? I had to literally go to the hospital the past couple of days, not posting about it. Nobody else really knows what I'm going on in my life, but I'm over here crying, bawling my eyes out because I'm really coming to the realization that time waits on no man. I don't care how good looking you are. I don't care how fit you are right now. I don't care how well you take care of your body. At one point or another, we're going to get old. It's going to be hard to walk at some point. It's going to be hard to do certain things. In fact, we're not going to be able to do the things that we can do right now at one point in period in time. You're not going to be able to run one day. Yeah, that's the truth. You're not going to be able to jog. You're going to wish that you could go out and step outside and enjoy the sun and go take a run on the beach, but we're going to be too old to go ahead and make it happen. And I don't get on this side too often, but this is the month of Savage September. Somebody has to be the one to wake you up. Somebody has to be the one to show you that time is not promised. This is why I wrote on my Instagram posts. Time waits on nobody. Time waits on no man. So when I really experienced this over the week and over the weekend, it really hit me very hard. So let me go ahead and get IG back on here really quick. All right. So health is wealth. Okay. Are you taking the time to really be specific on what it is that you're putting inside of your body, on what it is that you're actually consuming on a daily basis? Right. My sister passed away from cancer at 28 years old. 28 years old. I'm 28 right now. Right. So when I was 21, I literally gave myself that limit. How would you live your life if you only had 7 years to go ahead and truly take advantage? How would you live your life? Would you take care of your body a little bit more? Would you go ahead and do the things that you didn't necessarily feel like doing on a daily basis, actually go out and make them happen because your future self is going to be proud of you? Everything changed for me when I was 21 years old, right? We talk about it, change the way you see things, the way you see things change. Well, that happened to me directly. I couldn't look at a handshake the same. I couldn't look at hugging somebody the same because I understood it might be the last time that I get an opportunity to do so. So I started to move with a different sense of urgency. I started to move with a different sense of belief that we can really go ahead and live a life by design, that we can really go ahead and take advantage of what's going on right now if we're willing to get around the right people, if we're willing to take care of our body, and if we're willing to go ahead and realize that life is two ways. We can either see a life in a life of lack or life in a life of serious abundance. And I was asking myself, why did this happen to me? I was living in lack. I was living in that whole negative cycle until I changed my paradigm, until I was able to clear the fog and start seeing clearly. You see, many of us, the reason why you feel lazy, the reason why you feel tired is because what you're consuming. If you're consuming meat, let me tell you this, okay? I'm not one to push beliefs, but I need to wake you up so you can truly understand. If you're the type of person that's eating meat, let me get you to think about something for a second. You're eating something that is dead, okay? You're eating dead meat. So what do you think your body is going to feel? If you're eating something that's dead, if you're eating something that has fear inside of it, right? For those of you that don't know, when they kill a cow, when they kill a pig, an animal has fear. So that fear has a hormone, that fear has a chemical, just like humans have the same thing. We have chemicals that are produced in our brain whenever we feel certain emotions. That's why when you get adrenaline, your hands sweat, your armpits sweat. When you get nervous, right? This is chemicals sending reactions to your body. This is science. So when an animal, right, is on its last day, is on its last string, there's a lot of fear that literally gets induced into the bloodstream and it goes into their body. And when we're eating it, guess what you're eating? You're eating fear. You're eating laziness, right? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but believe it or not, meat takes months to digest through your body. It takes literally months, multiple months to digest and actually get through your body. Fruits, healthy organic food, right? Greens, whole foods, takes a matter of hours to go ahead and digest through your system. So when you start to understand how cancerous everything truly is built, you're going to start to become very aware of what it is that you eat and what it is that you drink. The only water that I drink is going to be alkaline because there's two ways that every liquid or every food is. It's either acidic or it's alkaline. You see, if something is acidic, you are more prone to diseases, illnesses, and bacteria inside of your body, cancer, right? On the other side, alkaline, an alkalinity diet. Why do you think when people go into chemo, when people end up getting cancer, they put them on an alkaline diet? This is real. If you don't believe me, go ahead and do your research. Because diseases, bacteria, illnesses, they cannot thrive, they cannot survive in an alkaline environment. So I had to really take the time and ask myself, if I want to go ahead and run like a Lamborghini, if I want to go ahead and run like a Ferrari, run on in an elite level, like a supercar, I couldn't feed myself McDonald's food. I couldn't feed myself dollar foods. So even though I didn't have a lot of money at the beginning, I started out small. How can I go ahead and change my diet right now today? Instead of going to McDonald's, I started to buy literally cheaper things, fruits, whole foods, oatmeal, right? Changing my dairy over from regular milk to almond milk, getting cheese completely out of my diet. For those of you that don't know, if you wonder why you feel congested all the time, if you wonder why you're more prone to sicknesses, cheese and dairy is one of the biggest activators and catalysts for both of those. So if you didn't know, now you know. For those of you that eat cheese, just being real and raw and honest, that's cow putts. So I'll be the first to tell you, I'll be able to go the rest of my life without ever eating cheese again. And this is something that I ate on a daily basis for breakfast. The American breakfast is one of the most poisonous things any of us can go ahead and eat. Eggs, right? Egg whites are okay. But then we have orange juice, which is full of sugar. We have bacon, which is pork. Pork is one of the biggest leading cancer causers, right? As far as the food industry goes. So health is wealth. It's safe to say that it is so important to go ahead and master our health in this day and age, because here's what I've learned over the past 5 years. The ones who take care of their body, the ones who take care of their mind, the ones who take care of their spirit, really start to see the quantum leap. So we have 3 points that we need to really focus on. The body is going to be the middle piece, right? Because when you start to train your body, you're training more than just your body, you're training your mind. If you go down and do 10 push-ups right after this call, your body's probably going to tell you to quit around 3, 4, 5, depending on how fit you are, but you have the opportunity to probably do one more by tapping in to your mind. So health as well. This is going to be big because that carries into every aspect of the business. When somebody tells you no, you're going to be able to keep going. When you go ahead and you lose a trade, you're going to be able to keep pushing forward because you have developed a callus on your mind from actually training your body. Okay, so health as well. This is going to be big as far as shining goes. Number 3 is going to be inspiration. All right, inspiration. This is huge. As a leader, you need to ensure daily interaction with activities that are going to inspire you so that you can go out and inspire others. So for me, this is huge. I've done this all along the course of these past 4 or 5 years. In fact, I'm still doing it as we speak. What is going on during this week? We're taking a flight all the way out to AZ to go be there for 6 days to be around the atmosphere, to be around the mentorship, to be around the value, to be around a different level of conversations and energy. Because if you've ever drove in a car that you envision, if you've ever drove around in a neighborhood that you like, if you've ever traveled to somewhere that truly makes you feel good, it changes the way that you think. You don't come back home the same person. Just like this shirt, when this shirt is stretched, it never goes back to the same size. Well, the same thing happens with our brain. When your brain is stretched with new information, with new knowledge, it never goes back to the same size. When I saw Darwin making a day what I would go out and make in a year trading, I could never think about money the same. I could never think about working hard the same because I understood that we have the opportunity to be able to work smart right from our smartphone anywhere that has Wi-Fi. So what is the inspiration that you're going ahead and getting today? Right? I'm constantly calling my mentor. I'm constantly around the fire because he has what I want. He inspires me, right? His work ethic is there. He's growing himself. He has the results and he has the experience. So I'm always looking to grow myself in multiple different avenues, right? We have multiple mentors, multiple different individuals in the business that are hitting ranks. Who do you know that's around you that's just popped a rank? Who do you know that's around you that's getting withdrawals? And guess what? All it takes is a phone call. All it takes is a message to go ahead and dig a little bit deeper. What are you doing right now that's seeing success? What product are you really applying yourself to go ahead and really see these withdrawals? I was always asking questions. I was always in the fire so I could learn from other individuals that were winning to go ahead and be able to take it, tweak it my own, and then go be able to then duplicate it. Okay, so inspiration is such a huge piece of this journey. Number 3 is going to be neglect. Okay, neglect. What are you going to neglect inside of this season to go ahead and really see what it is that you envision? Right? We talk about the seasons. We're all going to have to sacrifice for a certain period of time. Okay. Now, I want to tweak this a little bit differently because the way that most think about it is I want you to neglect your family. I want you to neglect your friends. Well, I've been here in the past, but as I've started to come to realization, we have 6 pillars of life: family, mind, body, spirit, faith, and finances. If you go ahead and put your spiritual side in there together, right? So how many people we make a lot of money, or how many people they build their body like athletes, but they're still suffering in different areas, right? We see athletes crumble all the time just because of this, because they haven't spent time to build their other pillars. So in this season, I want you to go ahead and really analyze. If you were to go ahead and take a circle, right? Take a circle, and I want you to draw out your 6 pillars: family, mind, body, spirit, faith, finances, okay? And I want you to, 1 through 10, go ahead and write a scale for each of them. And if you were to draw a circle, 1 through 10, where's your energy at for each one of those pillars, okay? This is your self-evaluation. So you're going to be able to probably see where you might need to add a little bit more energy. You know, for myself, there was time where I was neglecting my family. I was completely ignoring them, and it started to affect my business, right? You started to get arguments, you started to get conversations that you didn't want to hear because you neglected parts of your pillar that bleeds off into other areas of your life, right? You see, if you don't take the time to build the pillar of your mind, to build the pillar of your spiritual side, well, the fact of the matter is, success is 90% spiritual. If you haven't taken the time to build your mindset, personal undevelopment, the second you get hit with a roadblock, you're going to quit. The second you lose a trade, you're going to go back into your shell. The second that something happens inside of your life, you're going to be the first person to say, why does this always happen to me? But somebody that has done the work, somebody that has done the deep work, they understand life is not happening to us. You see, life is happening for us. There's lessons that need to be learned. There's something in this season that we have not yet gained the experience from to go ahead and move from that, whatever it is, from that situation that's going on in our life, okay? So take the time to see where you're at on your pillars and identify where you need to put a little bit more energy to start to make this wheel really spin. All right. And last but not least is going to be, as far as shining, elevate, right? To go ahead and elevate your lifestyle, meaning as leaders, we must also be able to enjoy the journey, right? A lot of you, you've been phenomenal with your morning routine. You've been on fire with your consistency. So I want to be the one to go ahead and tell you, give yourself a pat on the back. Congratulate yourself. Not many of our parents, not many of our friends are going to be the ones to celebrate you. I had to realize that we had to learn to celebrate the little wins. As you go throughout your day, if you got any calls scheduled today, pat yourself on the back. You hit the gym today, you ate alkaline food, right? You called your mentor. This is all different pats on the backs that you guys can start to give yourself energy to really elevate yourself, right? Over the course of this journey, it's going to take time. We just talked about it yesterday with Neno. This is something that's, we just planted the flag for another 730 days all in, right? So that's going to take us being able to celebrate the little wins so you don't get burnt out, okay? I know what it's like to be burnt out, but I also know what it's like to be able to be on the other side. To be able to, how do you think somebody can go 5+ years and still be going and still be just as excited, if not more excited than before? Well, it came from little things like this, understanding that we can always grow more, we can always do more, so therefore we can become more. But at the same time, be grateful for the journey, be grateful for how far that you've already come, okay? And the last acronym that I want to go ahead and give you guys to go ahead and end off today to really shine as a leader is going to be image, okay? Image. You see, in this chapter of the book, it's talking about human beings have the choice to either act proactively or reactively in all of the situations that happen in our life. So I believe this is the perfect time in the month of September to really define your image for yourself. You ready? So let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm going to breeze through this one really quick. Image, right? Go ahead and write this down on your piece of paper. This is another acronym, okay? Image. The I is going to be innovation. Innovation. We need to go ahead and create daily growth through innovation, right? So what is the innovation that you're going ahead and using for this new week, right? Our Sunday evaluation call. This is really the third question. What skill, talent, or resource are you going to add on into this week? Are you going to start going live every day? Are you going to really start making a content schedule to really start putting yourself out there and branding yourself, right? Are you going to start really time blocking and creating a Google Calendar to really start dialing, getting serious about your business and about these skill sets? Innovation, right? What are you going to do different than you were doing before to get to new results, right? They wrote a whole book about it. What got us here is not going to get us there. So that's big. 2, the M. The M is going to be known as mastery. Okay, now mastery is going to be committing to mastery through constant improvement, right? To be able to master anything, everybody talks about the 10,000 hour rules. Well, yes, that's true. It's going to take time, whether we're mastering trading, ECX, building your brand, but everything that we're doing here, this is why I took the time. Because in school, I was studying for a test, we were studying for a grade. The difference on this side, you see, you're studying for skill sets you can take with you for life. Anywhere with Wi-Fi, any beach in the world, you can go ahead and get ka-chings anywhere that you're at. So I understood this was worth our time to master what it is that we have access to. Okay. So number 3 is going to be authenticity, being trustworthy to yourself and to others. Okay. As a leader, let me be the one to tell you, you don't need to lie. You don't need to fabricate any results. You don't have to go ahead and fake it until you make it. You can faith it until you make it, but you don't need to lie to anybody. You see, if you're new, if you just dove into trading, if you just dove into ECX, and somebody asks you, how is your progress? How are you doing? Or even so your new students understand this, no need to lie about the money, right? In fact, the person on the other side of the line, they're waiting for you to lie. The person on the other side of the screen, they're waiting for you to lie, to call you out on your BS. Because time, it always does. It always exposes or promotes us. So I never lied to anybody at the beginning. When somebody asked me, D, how much money are you making, bro? Come on, be honest with me. Listen, bro, I just started out. I'm making $20 here, $30 here, but I understand where it is that I'm going, right? You want to see my notebook? You can see how serious I'm actually taking this. And then with the value that I'm locked in with, I know exactly where it is that I'm going to be 6 months and a year from now. And lo and behold, that's what happened. Most people, they're going to make fun of you at the beginning, but as time goes by, that first, they're going to ask you how you did it. At first, they're going to ask you why you do it. Later in life, they're going to ask you how you did it. Okay, so authenticity, no need to lie about anybody. Be your true self, be your authentic you, and be willing to show yourself on social media, because people are going to love you for you, not for being a robot, not for just posting the business. You've got to really dial in and figure out what is your values, what do you stand for, because if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. So what are your core values as a leader? What do you stand for? Okay, 4, 2 more for you. This is going to be the guts. The guts. Do you have the courage to do things that others are fearful to do? Do you have the courage to get on a video and make a live today? Be honest with you, most people, they're terrified of speaking. Most individuals are terrified of making a video. That's why they're stuck in staying where they're at. And I'm a person who 5 years ago, I used to take a screenshot off of Google and find a lion image and find the quote. Boom, that was my post for social media. And you know what's funny? I never deleted a post. So if you go back and you scroll all the way to the bottom of my IG, you can go and see I was doing exactly just that. But as I started to get a little bit of guts, as I started to really realize nobody's perfect. Why do I have to go out and create a perfect image in an imperfect world? So you can go out and you can show your imperfections. You can go out and just be you. My camera wasn't the best at the beginning. I didn't have the greatest settings. I didn't have the greatest backgrounds, but I understood it was going to get better as I went. My quality was going to get better. My posts were going to get better. My captions were going to get a little bit more detailed. We're going to have a little bit more personal development inside of them. But at the beginning, nothing is going to be perfect. 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step. So when you dive into your trading journey, when you dive into ECX, when you dive into this whole entrepreneurial step, you're going to see that you're not going to be great at most things the first time that you do it. But, and I'm not going to be the one to say that you don't do things better than others, but for the most part, most of us, we didn't come in speaking very great. Most of us, we were phenomenal traders. For me, I couldn't tell you a thing about dropshipping and ECX, but I had the guts to learn. I had the guts to push past when most individuals were quitting inside of all of these different seasons, because I know this takes time. I'm willing to sacrifice 3-5 years to open up the next 40 years. I'm willing to go ahead and follow the masses and do the opposite, because I didn't want to be like everybody else. And if you're on this call, you are the exact same way, because you know that you can achieve more. You know that you have a serious impact left to leave. And this is why it takes guts to go ahead and be a serious leader when you go ahead and go against the grain. Number 5 is going to be ethics. Okay, when it comes to creating your image, your ethics, right? Doing what is right and staying true to your values. Okay. At the beginning, I thought I needed to be flashy. right? The cars, the jewelry, the mansions, all of those things. But you know what I started to attract? People that just had a microwave mindset, people that wanted money immediately. So I started to really dive in and look at other leaders and look at their organizations and see why it is that they're at where they're at. Well, if you look at somebody like Jason Brown, if you look at somebody like Matt, they're very person developed. They have an extreme level of passion. They're very organized and they are extremely consistent. So anybody that you see that's winning, anybody that you see that you look up to, I had to start to ask myself, what are their ethics? What are their values? What do they stand for? And what do I want to stand for? Right? What do I want to be a person to go ahead and reflect? And I took just that. I want to be a person of value. I want to be a person of consistency. I want to be a person to give back. I want to be a person to truly care. And this is you as a leader, right? When you're not in the room, what are individuals saying about you? And I had to truly think about that. I wanted to be the leader when I'm not in the room. Somebody can say like, wow, he's working, he's on the move, he's constantly growing himself. And that's what happened to Neno. When nobody was watching, when nobody was on the calls, when everybody saw the retrace, as time went by, you either get promoted or you get exposed, and time promoted. So no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what season that you're in, if you have your values intact, if you know you stand for pure intentions, the world, I promise, is going to work out in your favor, and you're going to attract the right people, places, and opportunities into your life and into your business. So family, with that being said, this is my training for you guys on how to go ahead and truly shine as a leader, how to really build your image so you can start to stick out and become the best version to attract others that are ready to go ahead and step into your shoes. So family, if you got any value from today, go ahead and smash that like button down below. Drop some fives if you are ready to go ahead and continue this savage month of September. This is a month, I believe, of massive breakthroughs, massive abundance, rank ups, withdrawals, ka-chings. So this is the month that we've been waiting for. Believe it, we are expecting miracles and we are getting miracles. This is the week of AZ. So get ready to be tapped in. We'll have the live stream most likely coming for you guys during this week so you don't miss out on any of the value that is to be dropped. So family, it is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand, family. Let's go. It's game time. Fired up for the week. Let's go. I love you, family. Let's go out and dominate. It's game time. The journey continues. Jeez.